Welcome back. In this lesson we're going to look at renewability, which is a big word, so make sure that as we go you're taking notes again. But firstly, let's start off with what is renewability?
When you run out of eggs, you just go to the shop and buy more to replace them. But how do you know the world won't run out of eggs? Whether or not we run out of a natural resource depends on two things: how quickly we use it and how quickly it's replaced by natural processes. This is called its replacement time. In the case of eggs, the replacement time is short. Chickens will lay more every day, and chickens that are farmed for their meat instead of their eggs can be replaced within months by a new generation. A resource is called renewable if it has a short replacement time, less than a human lifetime. Nearly all plants and animals are renewable resources because they grow and reproduce relatively quickly. We can still run out of them though, if we use them more quickly than they're replaced. A resource is called non-renewable if it has a long replacement time, longer than a human lifetime. Practically speaking, most non-renewable resources never get replaced. Take iron ore, for example. There's a certain amount on the planet, and once we've mined it, there isn't any more coming to take its place. All the more reason to use resources wisely and avoid putting all our eggs in one basket.
So, renewability. So the important thing there is that it's all about its replacement. So can we actually replace it frequently enough that it doesn't affect us within a lifetime? So anything that, they said in the video that replaces itself within a human lifetime is considered renewable. That's a semi-ambiguous statement. You could argue certain things based on that definition, but that's more or less the gist of it. If it replaces quickly enough that we're not going to run out, then you could say that it's renewable. So an example of this would be sunlight. So this might be strange to think of as a resource, but nearly all life depends on it. So it's something that we need, so therefore we call it a resource. The plants use sunlight to make their food, and then this in turn produces food for animals and us. So it's very essential. With solar panels, which we'll talk about in a later section, sunlight becomes a resource that we convert into electricity. The sun has about 5 billion years left, so it's safe to say that that is renewable. The sun is not going to run out in our lifetime, in the next lifetime, in 50 lifetimes from then. So this would definitely be a renewable source. Another example is water. So water we know is essential. We need that for all kinds of life. We have to drink it in order to survive. Animals have to drink it. Plants have to drink it. It's essential. So as well as that, we also use it to cook food. We wash our clothes and our cars with it. We water parks and gardens, and we irrigate crops. And we'll talk about crops later as well when we get into farming and why that's important. So if we need huge amounts of water over all of these applications, then it's pretty safe to say that there's lots of it. You look at the oceans, and sure, we can't drink that because it's salty, but there is plenty of water out there in the world. Water is continually replaced. We don't actually consume water in the sense that we don't destroy it. All the water that we drink somehow ends up back in the system. Every time it rains, that soaks into the ground. That'll then evaporate later, and it replaces itself. So that water cycle is all about water being constantly cycled through. So we would consider this a renewable resource, given that it's constantly replaced within a fairly short period of time. Rocks, minerals, and metals. This is another important resource. Rocks and minerals, or minerals in particular, are mixtures. Rocks are a mixture of minerals. Minerals are natural substances that are often found in the form of crystals, although in most rocks the crystals are too small to be seen. So it doesn't look like a crystal, like a giant diamond or a quartz rock, but at a very, very tiny level they're made up of crystals. Some minerals, which we call ores, contain metals. So iron, aluminium, and copper are found in this mineral ore form. So when we talk about iron ore, that's its raw mineral form. We extract this metal using a variety of techniques. We mine it, and then we extract it out, and we melt it down, and we produce our metals. There are some metals, though, like gold and silver, that are found in pure form. So they're not found as a mineral ore that we have to refine. You just dig it up out of the ground, and it's good to go. So these are some examples of rocks, minerals, and metals and their uses. So we use it, it's essential in appliances, in our phones. You could not do that without the minerals and the metals. Cars, jewelry, even just gemstones. So this would be the precious metals that we find. We don't refine these. Glass is made from minerals, from sand. Cement is made from calcite. We obviously build buildings and things out of different types of rocks, and statues and gravestones are made out of things like marble. So it's a very essential resource. Soil and clay. Soils form from rocks and minerals as they break down into small particles due to the rain, the wind, and the frost. So that's an important definition. We will cover that again when we talk about soil, but we'll touch on it right now. In order to make a healthy soil that we can grow crops, we need 3 ingredients. We need air, we need water, and we need organic matter. This organic matter is living things such as bacteria and worms, but it can also be the decomposed remnants of other animals. This bacteria could be leaf matter, anything that's broken down. So both of those things combined gives us the organic matter, and we need that to have healthy soil. So have a look at this. I've got an example of things down the bottom here, and I want you to classify whether they're renewable or they're non-renewable. So have a go at that now. Okay, so of these, the renewable we would consider fish because they reproduce quite rapidly. The egg we talked about earlier in the video, wood, water, and the sun. These are all renewable types. Soil is non-renewable. Once we use soil for something, it is not replaced. It takes a very, very long time to generate soil, much, much longer than our lifetime or several lifetimes. So we would say this is non-renewable. And the same thing with minerals. This could take millions and millions of years. So these are non-renewable. From here, there is a style renewability quiz. So again, the link will be available to you in the task. Have a go at that style quiz. And then once you've done that, there is a quizzes on natural and renewable resources. So have a go at that quizzes. As with before, take a screenshot of your answer or of your final score and post that to the Canvas section. So under assessments, you'll find the quizzes, natural and renewable resources. Post just a screenshot, a photo of your final score, and then you are done for the lesson.